7 years ago, the cash-strapped O'Hagan family bought this apartment at Techno Park in Melbourne's inner west.
It was pretty cheap. It was obviously in a kind of ugly industrial-looking area. I guess that's why it was cheap.
Between the beach and an oil refinery, it was built by the government and used as a migrant hostel in the 1950s. After a renovation in the 1980s, the 100-odd flats were offered up for private sale.
I was like, yes, it's like you've just caught the train and you just get in there as the door closes. That's how it felt in terms of owning a home.
But there was one catch. Techno Park is an area zoned for industrial use, with a clause that allows for home offices.
The agent was here when we came to look at the place. We brought the kids. The agent was saying, this could be your bedroom, this could be your bedroom. There are other people living here. The conveyancer pointed out that there was an industrial zoning. We looked at the planning scheme and it said home office was okay, and we talked to other people who were living here and they said, yeah, it's home office is okay. We thought, okay, great, that we can organise that. And that was in 2017. We've been living here ever since.
But last May, they received a letter from Hobsons Bay City Council.
I thought it was probably just a rates notice or something, and then there it was, like in big bold writing on the top, you are directed to cease residential use. You are using the property legally.
The letter directed all residents to cease living at Techno Park immediately, on the grounds they were living in an industrial area.
I just felt physically sick. If they were really serious about, you have to do it right now, where were we going to go? Worst case scenario would be homeless.
Arnie has rented at Techno Park for 14 years.
My first thought was like, well, if there's a housing crisis, why do you want to kick everybody out?
Hobsons Bay City Council declined an opportunity to answer our questions on camera. It said in a statement that a complaint to the EPA first alerted them to the situation, but the EPA cannot confirm this. Council says it was unaware so many people lived there. Residents say that doesn't stack up.
The council knew I was here. They've sent me parking tickets, so they knew I was here.
All my addresses are here. My car registration, the electoral roll, my electricity bill, which is a residential account, by the way, a home loan, the rates notices, everything.
And then last year, it was like, get out immediately. And it's like, whoa, what's going on here?
Council also claims 8 fuel storage tanks owned by ExxonMobil are a major hazard. In 2010, the EPA revoked the plant's top safety rating following a string of serious mishaps. But the nearby refinery closed in 2021 and the tanks have not been used for several years.
The question on everyone's mind is, why is it suddenly dangerous now?
John and Annie Link have owned apartments at Techno Park for 26 years. Off of their own backs, they rent these units out to low-income earners for below-market rates.
A lot of them would be homeless. They would be sleeping under Westgate Bridge. Some of them can't even afford the low rate that we're charging, and if they're evicted out of here, they will never be able to pay $400 for a room.
While some residents have already left, there are those like John and Annie fighting to keep their homes.
Now it's industrial, so we can't sell it as a home anymore.
Stephen Jolly was a local councillor who fought for residents in a similar situation.
We just fixed it. I mean, it was just a paperwork issue. We moved people from an industrial zone, we changed the planning scheme and turned it into a mixed-use zone so they continue living. We felt obliged to do that because they'd been paying domestic rates, we'd registered their pets, we'd been picking up their domestic bins. We'd made the mistake, so we fixed it.
Short of that, he says the state government should get involved.
I hope that the local government minister, Melissa Horne, who's also, by the way, the local MP, steps in, clips them around the ear and tells the council to fix this and stop terrorising their own residents. It's scandalous.
Knowing that there have been similar battles in the past and that common sense has prevailed in the end, does give us a little bit of hope.
But so far, residents haven't made much headway. Council says it is legally obliged to enforce the planning scheme.
The attitude was, look, we're terribly sorry about this. It's a really bad situation, but we have to.
Meanwhile, with the ExxonMobil plant no longer in use, the council has been spruiking the area as an opportunity for investment. Mobil has not confirmed what its future plans are for the site or the fuel tanks. Council didn't respond to a direct question about the site's future use.
The question is, are they really going to send in the police or the bailiffs and drag people out of their homes. Are they really going to do that? I don't know. I certainly hope not.
The Planning Minister did not respond to our request for comment. Local member Melissa Horn said this is a matter for Hobsons Bay Council.
It's very hard on the kids, but every now and then I'll get the question, you know, Dad, are we going to win this battle? Are we going to lose our home?
We're all good friends, so we have a good laugh and we catch up with each other and support each other. So it'll be really sad if it has to be destroyed.
Gosh, people work their whole lives to get the great Australian dream of owning their own place, and then something like this happens that you would never foresee.
What really stands out, I think, about this story is that the parties involved, in terms of the state government and the local council, are pointing the finger at each other. I think it's notable that no one involved at a political level stood up to answer questions about this. And, you know, ministers, MPs, councils, they're all publicly paid and do have some public accountability, I think it's fair to say, on issues like this. It's worth noting as well that, you know, the local council is saying that rezoning isn't possible because it's not supported by current state or council planning policy. I'm sure that's correct. But all of these bodies are working together, they say, to find solutions. It just seems the common sense solution, which is allowing these people to stay where they live and want to remain, is just absent from the conversation.
Well, for their part, Council has given us a pretty lengthy statement. It says it wants to work with all owners to secure safe, secure, long-term alternative to their current situation. Where? We're literally in the middle of a housing crisis. There's nothing around.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's absurd. The full statement, you can read it from Hobsons Bay City Council. It's on our website.